This will be my review for The Howling. This movie came out in 1981. I actually watched this quite a while ago now, probably over a month, but just never got around to reviewing this. There's a lot to talk about with this movie. Try to keep it short though. So, this movie, like I said, came out in 1981, same year as American Werewolf in London, and kind of got overlooked because of that. American Werewolf in London got a lot more attention, a little more praise. If I remember correctly, it won one of the first Oscars for special effects. And so this one, because it was also a werewolf movie, kind of got overlooked, unfortunately. And so this is like on my list for horror movies to watch, and especially for werewolf movies. It's definitely a very iconic movie in that kind of genre. So it was directed by Joe Dante. It was actually one of his early films. He did Piranha before in 1978, and then an uncredited film, and then this. So very early for him. And then afterwards, he went on to do Gremlins in 1984, which pretty much everybody knows. So here's being weird. Um, so yeah, directed by Joe Dante, and the main character is played by Dee Wallace. She's pretty familiar. Last movie I reviewed with her in it was Cujo. She was the mom in that, but then most people probably know her as the mom in E.T. She plays a lot of moms. It's kind of her bread and butter. But in this movie, she plays a news reporter, Karen White. Has a very odd beginning. So she's being stalked by this serial killer, weird rapist guy. His name's Eddie Quist. And she's just kind of being stalked by him, like over the phone and stuff. And eventually agrees to try to meet up with him so that they can catch him. And it takes place in like a late 70s porn shop. It's really weird, and so they're going to try to catch him there. It's a very, very odd beginning to the movie. But then after this happens, it's very traumatic for her, as you might imagine. And she decides to go to a place to kind of just collect herself and kind of get back to feeling normal. She goes to a place called the Colony, and while she's there, everybody's like kind of welcoming her, but gets a very weird vibe from everyone. And eventually, we see what's going on, and that's when all the werewolf stuff happens. And I'm not going to go into like every single part of the plot, but Eddie Quist and like some of his family gets involved again, and Karen's also there with her husband, boyfriend, whatever, significant other. And there's also a little bit of a side plot where their friends start to realize that something's not right, and they're trying to find her and help them. And there's like another little side plot of they actually kind of reveal what's going on with this colony and stuff. So overall, it's pretty good. I noticed, just like reading through my notes, it has a very weird beginning about the trying to catch the serial killer in the porn shop. But I guess it's kind of necessary to get her state of mind where she needs to go to this colony type thing. There's lots of fog throughout the movie. You notice that. I don't know if it makes sense or not. I guess wherever they are, it's in the woods. I feel like it's like towards the beginning too. Just I guess Joe Dante wanted to use a lot of fog in the movie. I think one of the most interesting things and what people like about it and why it's so well regarded as a werewolf movie, even if it was overlooked by American Werewolf in London. That was a great movie with great effects. But here, they're done by Rob Bottin, who is a pretty legendary special effects artist himself. So this is one of actually his early movies that he did solely as like the lead. But then the next year he did The Thing with John Carpenter, and so that has some of the best effects ever. And then he did like Legend, which has a ton of awesome effects and makeup effects. And then he won an Oscar for Total Recall, actually. So he's a very, very good special effects makeup artist as well. And here, the transformations are pretty long and elaborate. And it's really interesting because with that note about the effects and how the transformation works, it's hard not to compare it to just the one transformation in American Werewolf. So they have like these long, elaborate transformations. But also in this movie, I think one of the most interesting things is that there's multiple werewolves. So this is kind of spoilery stuff if you haven't seen it, but it's a pretty old movie. It's from 1981. But anyways, so American Werewolf just has the one werewolf, and here there are multiple werewolves in this colony. And I think that's pretty interesting. I don't, I haven't, not an expert in werewolf movies or anything, but I've seen a fair share. I feel like this is probably one of the earlier examples when they show, a group of werewolves, and not just a single lone werewolf doing everything. I thought that was very interesting, so that's pretty cool. It is a very slow, pretty slow-paced film overall. It's pretty good. I think Dee Wallace is really good. She's always good in everything I've seen her in. The ending's pretty interesting. It's pretty crazy, but it's good. It's very interesting. I think it adds to it quite a bit what happens. And you might have seen either a little clip or maybe even definitely like a screenshot of the ending. I think that's become a little more iconic for what they did at the end. I don't want to spoil that because it's pretty cool. But yeah, like I said, I saw this quite a while ago, so it's probably in the best review. I liked it. I think it's definitely worth a watch for multiple, types of fans. So if you're a horror fan, this is definitely in that must-watch category. So if you like werewolf movies, this is, a pretty iconic one, even though it unfairly got, overlooked because of American Werewolf coming out in the same year. And then also just special effects in general. If you like special effects, special makeup effects, Rob Bottin is amazing. He's one of the best, and I just rewatched The Thing the other day. It's a good winter movie to watch, and the work he does in that is incredible. It's it's hard to beat that, and this is really good to see that he just did this right before. So you're getting good effects. Definitely worth a watch for those reasons. So for my rating, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. Definitely worth a watch for those types of horror, werewolf, special effects fans. I think overall, American Werewolf in London has a little bit better story from start to finish, a little more cohesive, just kind of works better overall. But this definitely brings its own flavor to the genre, and it's definitely worth a watch. So yeah, check it out. All right, 3.5 out of 5.
Something wrong with this plot. The actors here have